I, 25 female, think my boyfriend, 31 male, is trying to train me. I don't even know what this is. Sorry if this sounds disorganized, but he's literally in the bed beside me right now, and I'm losing my mind. He has a habit of discouraging me from doing things he likes, not by pointing it out to me, but by physically stopping me. For example, he hates that I bite my nails, and to discourage me, he slaps my hands out of my mouth. This is weird, right? Like, I didn't notice how much he did this until he was visiting for my birthday, and I made popcorn so that we can watch Stranger Things on Netflix. I eat quickly. I always have. He decided I was eating the popcorn too fast and smacked my hand away and snapped, "Slow down." Like, what? It's the popcorn I paid and made for us. It's my effing birthday tomorrow. Let me eat popcorn. I feel embarrassed and sad and kind of stunned. I stopped eating it altogether because I was self-conscious, and he didn't even eat hardly any of it. He wasn't worried I wouldn't leave him any. He just didn't like the way that I ate it. WTF. I've sat and thought about this and realized he does this all the time. He tries to grab my e-cig because he doesn't like it. He tells me off and smacks my hands away if I eat snacks too quickly. He slaps my hands out of my mouth if I'm biting my nails and calls me disgusting. I get that these could be annoying habits, but am I wrong to be hurt by how he decides to go about telling me? I've never had any partner take issue with my mannerisms before. I feel like a dog. What do I do here? Oh, no. No thanks. Go get, like, he needs to just have a boyfriend, have a different girlfriend. Like, go have a girlfriend that you don't hate every single move that she makes. Because that's just a little bit wild in behavior. Relevant comments, someone said, quote, "See, our relationship has a lot of horseplay, so wrestling, tickling, playfully slapping, etc. isn't common." Wait, what? I don't remember. I don't think she said that. I'm confused. How do you feel about this horseplay? Does it ever go longer than you would have liked? Does it ever happen at times you didn't really want to happen? Do you ever get told you brought it upon yourself? Does it ever get a little too intense? Do you ever have a hard time stopping him when he's horseplaying and you want him to stop? Have you ever felt like you're not quite able to breathe during one of these horseplay times? Has he ever accidentally hurt you with it? If he has accidentally hurt you, has he blamed you? And OP said this is a lot to think about. Okay, but where is that? Please tell me where that is. I don't remember reading that at all in the original post that she posted. Yeah, I mean, that's just crazy. My boyfriend eats really fast, and, like, then he'll be upset after he eats, like, too fast. And I'm like, so sometimes I remind him if he's eating super fast, I'm like, don't eat too fast. Like, you're going to get a tummy ache, or, like, you're not going to be happy when you get done and you're eating too fast. But then, like, I'm not going to be, like, smacking his hand off the plate if he still wants to eat fast. I just like to remind him because he talks about how it bothers him sometimes that he does that. So I just am like, you're eating really fast. But I'm not going to be like, okay, puppy dog, stop eating so fast. Smack his hand out of the way. Like, that's crazy. Edit, okay, so clearly the fact that we play fight as a couple doesn't make this acceptable. For people asking, there have been times where I'd ask him to stop, which is usually dismissed. Last night was the first time I felt ashamed what I was doing, and I told him, I really hate that you do that. He made a frustrated kind of noise, and then we both stopped eating it. So I have brought it up, sort of, but I need to address it further. Thank you for all of your comments and advice. I really appreciate it. See, I'm just annoyed that I don't see the horseplay comment, but I guess it's good that they included that in the relevant comments because I wouldn't have known about it. Horseplay? I don't like that. 3 months later, there's an update. So it's been a while since I last posted, but a few people have asked for an update, so here we are. I read your posts and sat on it for a few days. I knew I had to break up with him, but I wanted to talk to my family first. I went to Portugal with them to a family wedding, and it was beautiful, and exactly what I needed to clear my head. Alcohol, sun, and my giant Catholic family. I talked to my mom and dad, and they were both shocked. They asked if he had hurt me physically, and fortunately I was able to answer no, honestly. They said to use the long weekend away to really think about what I wanted, and it was great advice. I watched my cousin and his fiancé getting married in the most beautiful ceremony and realized I'd never have this type of relationship with my now ex-boyfriend because it wasn't just slapping things away from me. It was constant criticism. I was never really relaxed around him. He would get shitty when I was too affectionate, i.e. more than a quick hug or a peck on the lips. He would criticize what I was wearing, my job, my house, everything was under constant scrutiny. But when I would ask for verbal affection, he would just say, "Oh, that's hard for me." One time he laughed in my face when I tried to initiate sex and I cried myself to sleep. I should have dumped him after that. So I got home and broke up with him. Unfortunately, I had to do it over the phone due to distance, and that even if and that even if I had traveled to his house, I wouldn't have wanted to do it with his parents there. We talked, and I linked him to the last post because I had everything in writing there, and I wanted him to read the responses. He made so many excuses and promises that it would never happen again, and I'm not anyone from your past, referring to my abusive ex-boyfriend who, like, actually liked to hit me. I feel like not hitting me hard does not excuse raising your hands to me for constant criticism for withholding affection after many conversations. I stayed firm and the relationship is over, and it's honestly for the best. It sucked super hard for a few days before I stopped myself from wallowing and got on with life, which has been great again. I've started seeing someone who is in the same career as me, so he gets that we both could travel away from each other, and I think I'm moving to London for 2 years in January, which is like a dream come true. So anyway, I just wanted to say thanks for the advice and knocking some sense into me. I think I need to learn a bit more about what is acceptable in a relationship, but I have plenty of time to do that. Edit, I just wanted to say that the amount of supportive messages I've received both on this post and the last have been overwhelming. Also, all the anti-nail biting advice, thanks, I'm working on it. It's been an eye-opening experience, and I'm glad that I had so many wonderful people here offering their encouragement. Thank you for everything. It's just actually... I'm so glad that she, like, moved on. But it's so crazy how hard it is to get out of relationships. Like, I know not everyone has that experience, but, like, for me personally, I've had that experience. And I don't know why it was so hard for me to get out of my last relationship. Like, because every time, like, we broke up, obviously he would, like, come back and be, like, begging for me back. But, like... I don't know. It's like, it's so weird because when I'm looking at this kind of thing, I'm just like, girl, break up with him. And like, of course I say that a lot in these episodes. I'm like, just break up with him. Like, he's not worth it. Don't date this man. But then, like, obviously at the same time, I'm thinking in my head, like, would I be able to break up with this person? Because, like, yeah, you're hearing all the terrible stuff that he's doing. And like, that doesn't make it like... But I'm sure they also have good moments, which obviously does not make it okay and does not make, like, mean you should stay with that person because you guys have good moments, like, at all. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so easy to just look at something and be like, dude, just break up with him. He's not worth it. You'll find someone better. Like, you'll end up so much better off. But it's so hard to convince yourself that when you're in it, like, when you're in a relationship with someone that you, like, really don't want to be with. Like, obviously I knew that I didn't want to be with this guy, but, like, I was gaslighting myself into, like, I'm never going to find someone I like again. Like, so many things, there's thoughts running through my head. But then obviously when you're far away from the situation, you look back and you're like, damn, girl, like, you could have saved yourself a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of, like, exhaustion by just breaking up with him and leaving it at that the first time. Like, we would have dated for a year and then we would have been done. But instead we dated for 4 years because I just kept going back to him. And it wasn't like this or anything. Like, it wasn't like it wasn't like an abusive relationship or anything, but it was like tumultuous, obviously, and toxic in its own ways. But I just always think about that. I'm like, it's so crazy how hard it is to, like, get out of relationships that you just aren't, that like, you're not supposed to be in. Like, I knew I was not supposed to be in that relationship. And I had to literally convince myself for years and years and years that, like, hey, like, you shouldn't be with this person. But then I would just it was just crazy. Like, so honestly, I feel for this girl. The top comment says, this is why abusers isolate their victims, so they can't get perspective from family and friends to realize that they need to run. And then someone responded and said, I think this is also why people who write to Reddit disproportionately need to break up. They either won't talk to anyone in real life because they've been isolated, or they know somewhere deep in their souls that if they share what's happening, the person will be horrified and they can't handle that from someone they actually know. Or they've been surrounded by people who normalize poor treatment. My mom now says my ex-husband was abusive, but when we were married and I was trying to figure out where normal was, she spent a lot of time talking about how marriage is hard. Oh my God, that kind of reminds me of, like, if you guys have seen the clips of Kanye West's new documentary that's out in theaters for some reason. I've been wanting to watch it, but, like, I don't want to go to the theaters to watch that. Like, when I go to the theaters, I want to have fun. Like, I'm not trying to freaking torture myself with a Kanye West documentary, but I was seeing, and it's so crazy to look back on, like, clips of Kris Jenner being like, saying to Kim, like, I don't think you're there for him the way that you should be. Like, I don't think you give him enough attention. Meanwhile, this man is throwing full blown tantrums, screaming in her face, screaming in everyone in her family's face, her mom's face, like genuinely being so scary, which obviously that's like an untreated mental illness. Like I'm pretty sure it had because he was off his meds or something. I think that's what it was. Like cuz he's bipolar if I'm correct, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, but it's really crazy to look at that because it's like I would, oh my God, if my mom told me something like that, like, and thank goodness, like, her and her sisters were like, girl, that, don't say that. Why are you saying that? Like, she was like, Kim was like, I don't have much left to give to him. I have kids, I have a business. Like, I can't deal with having a fifth or what, like another child that's supposed to be my husband, but is acting like a child and screaming in my face and like, honestly scary. I'd be scared for my life. This man looked so terrifying screaming at these people. I would be so nervous. Like I don't know if she ever like was physically abused or anything, but I would not be surprised honestly because he was and he still I'm pretty sure is. So honestly, bless his wife if they're still married. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.